drag and drop. What in the crap is drag and drop? When I first started carp fly fishing, this was the single most important thing for me to pick up, to go from a fish or two per outing to having 40 fish days. So what I'm gonna try to do is walk you through, these are fish this year that I have caught using the drag and drop, and kind of point out what I'm doing. And hopefully, if for those of you that maybe it hasn't clicked for yet, this will help it click and you'll end up catching a lot more fish. So in simple terms, we cast past the fish and we pull the fly over into the dinner plate and we drop it. But one thing you gotta notice here on these is that we try to keep the fly line off the water as much as possible. So you're casting past the fish and you're actually keeping the rod tip high. This shows it really well. Now this is close, but typically we're looking at up to about 30 feet. This is gonna be a little bit further here. This one's more than 30 feet. So you can do it when it's outside 30 feet, but it's a little more difficult and you gotta be careful with your line. But you're casting past the fish. The fly gets underneath the water. You pull it underneath the water just below the surface without disturbing the surface. You get it into the dinner plate area, which is the 12 inches around the head, and then you release and you let the fly drop down. Now again, this is in that probably 20-foot range. This is ideal. And again, you'll notice how little movement there is here. And I'm barely casting. I'm just trying to get that fly to get in the water. And I keep the rod up, and I kind of actually pulled it to the side there to get it in position. Now again here, I cast, see how high my rod is. I'm working that fly just underneath the surface, trying to keep my fly line from disturbing the water. And you can see a little dark spot, that's where the fish is, dropping it into that dinner plate and he hits it. Okay, again, same thing here, right? I cast out, my rod stays high. I kind of pull the fly by keeping the rod up. The line's gonna kind of sag and pull that fly through the water into the target area, let it drop down, and then the fish hits it. So again, there's just a lot of examples of pretty much the exact same thing. I cast out. Now this is a good one because I actually cast a couple times here, and you can do this with the drag and drop. If you cast and you're pulling and you see, all right, my fly's not gonna be in the dinner plate area, you kind of just keep going, bring that, not quickly, but bring that fly back out of the water, and then recast, into a back cast, and then drop it back in, and try to get closer to your target, pull it over and drop again. So again, another just drag and drop. This one's probably a little more than 30 feet, so you can do it. So again here, this is a good example. You cast past the fish, the rod tip stays high, there's kind of a bow in the line, and then you release the pressure, and then you let it fall down. Now he hits it twice actually here, but he did go after it on the drag and drop. The second one, I just cast it in front of him because he was searching. But again, all right, let's do this again here, right? I cast past him. I try to keep, you saw that my fly line did actually touch the water just a little bit. Now that's what we're trying to avoid there. And we bring that fly line back to get that fly into position. So we cast again here. Okay, did a pretty good job keeping the fly line out there, but see how I recast? Okay, again, cast. And you see how I keep my rod high and I work it over into position, then I drop it down into the feeding area for the fish. So again, this is kind of cool because you can see just, right, there's no fly line in this picture right here. So you saw the fly land, you saw the tension come back up on the line as it actually pulled that fly underneath the water down to where a fish is, and then he eats right there. So that is drag and drop. And so I just thought this was cool, so I reversed it to see it again, but you'll see it again here, okay? The fly's gonna come back down, hits the water, okay? No fly line there, that's mono or fluoro is actually what I'm using there, right? And you see how I kind of pulled it and I kept the fly line out of the water. I pulled it over into position to where the carp was. I let it flutter down, the carp eats it, we set the hook, and we're on. And that's it, that's drag and drop. I hope that makes some sense. I'm a visual learner, so I hope that helps some people that may be struggling with drag and drop. But I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet now and enjoy the rest of the video. This is actually a pretty cool fight on a still camera that I had mounted just right in front of where I was fishing from.